We're talking some deep shit on the couch, and we just became really good friends. And everybody,
not a casting couch,
yeah,
to be clear.
Well, it had nothing to do with eating ass at the CERN by a lizard person.
Yeah.
So Josh is going to uncover the mysteries of lizard people.
That's right.
The CERN on the show. So I had to wear this shirt to get ready for those. Stay tuned. It's coming, folks.
Let's fucking roll.
All right, everybody, welcome back to McBastard Studio. Really excited to sit down with Joshua Alphonso. He's an amazing guy. Spent some time in the Air Force and other government agencies. They started a business called Strategic Advisory Group. They protect high-level people. They are just killer dudes. I've met this guy, became like a friend with him instantly. I have to say, in all honesty, when he first reached out to me, and I knew what he did, I was like, do I really want to be friends with this guy? Is this guy tracking me? So Josh, welcome to the show, brother.
Brad, pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Your studio is amazing, and thank you for having me in your wonderful home.
Yeah, no, man, you're family now. You and I talked about that, brotherhood. We were just like one of those people that in a late night in Nashville after probably being out at the bar till 3 in the morning.
Ben Chapman's song, Late Night in Nashville. You know?
Late night in Nashville. We're talking some deep shit on the couch, and we just became really good friends. And everybody,
not a casting couch,
yeah,
to be clear.
Well, it had nothing to do with eating ass at the CERN by a lizard person.
Yeah.
So Josh is going to uncover the mysteries of lizard people.
That's right.
The CERN on the show. So I had to wear this shirt to get ready for those. Stay tuned. It's coming, folks. It's coming out. We're going to release where the lizard people are. Are there aliens? We're about to find out. But a call out to Sully and Jeff and Hefe and Felix and who else is up there?
Yeah, no, those are all the boys, and I'd just like to make a call out to also all our mentors and people within the community that will go unnamed, just because that's some of the part of the sacrifice they make, but. To get to this point, Brad, you know, there have been a whole tribe of people, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't want to take any credit, but I do want to just make sure we call out all those people that
Johnny,
make
JD, Nicole. Oh, I had Nicole's bro hat on earlier. Sorry, I had to change my attire and shock Josh when he came in. You're not wearing that shirt, are you? So.
Oh yeah. The first thing I saw, I was like, Brad, always pushing the envelope. I like it, you know, and that's what I like about you, Brad. You know, when we first met in Nashville, I was like, who's this tall, handsome motherfucker who's pretty confident? And, you know, you have great presence, and you're just really articulate, smart. And, I
appreciate that.
I liked you instantly. I was like, well, here's someone I won't wonder where he stands or, you know.
Good. So you've just cleared up. I'm not on the list, right?
I've taken you off the no-fly list.
You got to make some friends,
Just
man.
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a long list of shit, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, well, man, you know, I know that you've got such a great story. I mean, you came really as an immigrant, your family to the U.S. You love America.
Yep.
You're raised, went into the Air Force. And, I mean, you just got such a, you know, a iconic Americano life story, and dude, I'm proud of you. So,
dude, likewise. And I was listening to your podcast with Johnny and Bobby Keith, and Brad, you never fail to amaze me, man. Like just all the things you've been through, and that's what came out, I think, in Nashville. I was reflecting on it, and I was like, here's someone like that has been through so much and has just learned so much. And I know we've talked about your tech past, all those other things you've accomplished. So right back at you, and thank you for acknowledging.
It's awesome, man. Your all-American story, man. I love it. I mean, what's amazing is being around, people that have not only been in the military but gone into the OGA.
Yep.
We can't list certain things, but OGA kind of space, and just how much everybody believes in America, loves America for the good of it. And I immediately felt like that with you, and I obviously I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so it was cool, man. It's good stuff. And Bobby Keith, man, I didn't call Bobby. Wasn't in Nashville though, was he?
Bobby did not show up.
You
to
didn't
build
show
on
up, Bobby,
us.
so you weren't really part of the original crew,
That
man.
and he didn't show up to the Riley Green concert. That's two indicators, as we call it in the business. And just for people, I'll clear up some of that like OGA shenanigans, right? Like, so for those wondering what the F is OGA, right? It's commonly referred to other government agency, but I was never undercover or any of that, so I can share some of the things, and I'll share that right now to clear the room, if you will. So I was a former Air Force intelligence officer, right? My first duty station was at NSA, so that's kind of where I got my start.
Yeah.
And I supported operations downrange, air operations, and other special operations in the Middle East, Africa, a couple other places. Got to do that. I left the Air Force after. Met now a good friend. We met at a coffee shop. He was running a contract, so he was like, "Hey man, you want to come work at CIA headquarters? We're supporting the DNI." So I got to do that. Work on the National Intelligence Council for a little bit as a contractor. It's awesome, but it was a lot of nerd shit, which I didn't really, I was like, oh man, like, So it was great exposure. I learned a lot. There are a lot of smart people, and I was not one of them. I was like, well, okay, good, man. I'm so fucking glad we have you. And I ran off and did a SOCOM deployment because I was attached to AFSOC briefly, which is Air Force Special Operations. So I supported some operations down in South and Central America, and that was a great fucking gig. It was my last gig in the Air Force, and I was like, well, I'm really happy to be here. And then I left that agency, and I went to support the NRO for a while as a contractor. And for those of you who don't know what the NRO is, they launch a bunch of spy satellites. That's all I can tell you, it was great. And I founded Strategic Advisory Group after.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to talk. I want to talk a little bit about that, but back to acronyms and stuff. Like we had Chris Cathers in here, and he was dropping all this stuff. I'm like, dude, like you're like talking a foreign language to me. Like I don't like it's just like the tech world, CRM, this, that, whatever, BPO, and I'm like, nobody knows what the hell that is outside the tech world, So I appreciate that.
Because I'm like, well, we're going to start losing people. Penguins are jumping off the island, And, dude, Chris is an amazing guy.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that introduction. And I've been following what Chris is doing. And, Chris, I just want to say, I know we haven't hung out, but, man, I tip my hat to you, my figurative hat. You're fucking awesome, and proud of all the things you're doing out there. So,
he's a fighter, man, and he just beat MRSA, too, so that's awesome. Yeah. And he's a fighter and done a lot of good for the country, but also just a lot of great stuff with Brothers Keepers Veteran Foundation that's set to help people, veterans, not commit suicide. They give them an outlet to, kind of get involved and get back into the process and feel part of that brotherhood and purpose again. And so call out to Brothers Keepers Veteran Foundation and Chris. They're amazing. So they got the big shootout up in Nashville. I think it's next week or the 20th. Check it out online. But you can get involved in that. You can go shoot some crazy stuff.
He had a fucking minigun. I was like, dude, how did you get that legally? I know how to get it, but I was like,
Air Force guys.
How can you do it for a charity event? I was like, okay.
These damn Air Force guys think too much. So
that is true, It's what we get paid to do sometimes.
I love it. Yeah. But anyways, he's a good dude. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about SAG and what you're doing. Cause I think it's really interesting just for the general public. Like you and I were talking about this, like, it's so foreign to the everyday person about like,
and it's not for the everyday person,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, but I love telling a story, right? Because Felix and I were at a meeting. Felix is my main business partner for you not tracking. And really, started off as a friend / mentor back in the day. We were in a meeting in, I'll just say undisclosed location, right? And he was sitting down. We were figuring out some war plans for a certain country. And I was like, well, this guy's fucking cool. I like him, you know? So after I was like, we were filled in a room with like 20 other mofos with different skills and this and that. And I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. Just kind of like how you and I hit it off, right? So I love people. I think you're the same way, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And, you know, when I meet awesome people, I like to get to know them, learn more about them, learn their story, and learn from them if I can, and, you know, look for opportunities to collaborate, right? So that's kind of how Strategic Advisory Group started off in the early days. Felix left the agency as a former case officer, very specialized type that I won't really go into details and explain, but there's very few of him running around in the world, and some of the things he's done, I was like, you're my fucking guy, you know, you're my Huckleberry. So I was like, because I was a lot younger too, right? You know, so, you know, I knew my place, right? Like I need to learn from some of these guys who've been doing it a lot longer and develop, because how can I learn and do faster has always been my thing, right? So shout out to my mentors, Juice, Eric Monaco, you know, number of former Air Force intel officers that were like, all right, Josh, like you want to do this, this, and this. This is what the Air Force wants you to do. Get the fuck out, you know, like go take some risk. Right, fail and fail fast, Brad. I think you have the same attitude, honestly. Like, and so I remember telling my buddy Juice and telling him, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this shit and thinking about leaving." You know, because the military is rather safe and secure for some people, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you get your paycheck on time. They don't lay you off. You don't fuck up. You'll make a certain rank. For the most part, that's kind of the deal, right? And then you get retirement, which is fucking nice.
Pretty nice, yeah.
And you know, but I'm a burn the boats kind of motherfucker, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, take some risks.
I love it.
And you know, I failed plenty, man. Like I went to pilot training, that didn't work out. That's what I wanted to do growing up, you know.
Yeah.
It was competitive to get there, and I remember at 21 or 22 failing for the first time and being like, wow, you know, the part that sucked was calling all my mentors and telling them, hey, man, like I fucking failed out, dude. Like that, I remember that distinctively, like, because so many people have invested in me to get to this point, right? Even now, right? You know, I have so many people in my sphere, so very grateful for them. But to get back to your point, what Strategic Advisory Group does, we're a bespoke intelligence / private intelligence company that supports high net worth individuals, CEOs, executives. The typical avatar, someone who's probably worth more than 50 mil, you know, that's when we start having the conversations, right? Because some of the tools and things that we can bring to light are expensive, right? You know, for their bespoke needs, and privacy's premier. I've started doing a little bit of social media, but you'll never see any of our clients' faces or things like that, because we don't ask for fucking surveys. Felix has been running it word of mouth. You know, and I'm like, all right, you know, I went to business school. I was like, all right, man, I can fucking do better than this shit. So I kind of aggregated some of it together. I do want to shout out to my mentor, Jerry George. Dude really changed my life. Probably the $150,000 I paid Georgetown. His class was worth it. I wish I could skip some of the rest, you know. Jerry's incredible entrepreneur, has mentored many people, and have you ever been in the presence of someone who's really fucking bright, and you're like, man, I should probably shut up and start taking some. But Jerry's the nicest guy, so I'm really lucky to have bumped into another awesome dude like that, and who kind of helped me out structure some of these things.
Well, you know, you're a people person too. So I mean, I tell everybody. I mean, if you know, anyone that I've ever known that was really successful. I mean, you've got some people that are nerdy and, you know, behind the scenes, but most people are really good at relationship building. Like, and if you want to be a really good businessman or whatever, you are the face of your business, whether you want to be in there or not. And, you know, there's people behind you. Obviously, there's always people behind you that are doing a lot of work and should be acknowledged. But the reality of it is building relationships, connecting with people on personal levels. You know, that's hard to teach. You sometimes either have it or not. I try to beat my kids up, like, just talk to people.
You should beat them up. Firstly, that's clear. Yeah, beat your kids. All right. Yeah.
I don't know if they can can take me now, but my only point in that is I think that's that's a skill regardless. My dad wanted to be an astronaut. You were talking about that. So my dad was a captain in the Army and ran a tank battalion. And obviously he was a pilot as well. And he always wanted to be in the astronaut program. And he got to the point and he tried out and made it to the final cut. And he's like, I couldn't do the math. Like he's like, it got to the point where the math was so like, he goes, I couldn't do it. And I realized like, this isn't for me.
Dude, it's painful when you get to some of those points and you realize like, there are certain things, like just those micro details that you could have tweaked at a younger age to get better, but when you're on the 90-yard line, you can't fucking change that overnight. It was, I think I learned a lot from my failure at pilot training, right? Like, because I was overly reliant on people gouge because I was always really good with fucking people, right? That was just a skill, right, that I had, and I realized it was translating to my lack of confidence in the air because, dude, the Air Force will take the fun out of fucking, okay? Like when it's training time.
Takes the F.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this fucking sucks, dude. Like, I'm going up for another colonoscopy, And, but I learned a lot, right? And after that, man, like, I got into the books. Like, Intel school was pretty fucking easy for me. Like, I already knew, like, I wanted to be an Intel officer, even if I became a fighter pilot, because I was like, firstly, I came to this country, as an immigrant, all that stuff. Came here at 15, joined the Army at 17, 2 years later. Was in the Guard. Did that while doing all my ROTC. Went to college full-time, did the Army Guard thing. Got a pilot spot. So I had no time to mess around. I was like, hey, this is train. This is my story. I'm in commander fit as far as I can control. And I'm going to do it. I had awesome mentors, and I've consistently always had good mentors. And I'm really grateful to all of you because none of this would be possible. Yeah. And that's why that's one of the things I'm passionate about as well. I like to mentor young kids that are in college or looking for opportunities, especially to serve and do badass things. Because you've been around some of our friends, Sully, Felix. I'm like, dude, tip of the spears, man. Yeah. G-Hog, love you, man. You're fucking awesome. But I grew up in a world where I was reading fucking books. I could barely read, but I was trying to figure this shit out. It's like, oh, man, like, but I'm like, wouldn't it be fucking awesome to know, like, hey, there are fucking people out there like this and make them available, So I fielded calls for, like, dudes going to Norwegian Special Operations School, as far as, like, out in Europe and other, because the mentality, and if you've hung around some of them,
yeah, absolutely,
they're all the fucking same, dude. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, some of those warrior ethos, brotherhood thing that you touched upon, everyone's a bro, and everyone's going to take care of you, if you're a part of the tribe, and
absolutely.
Even just coming down here, man, like, I was on a plane with Ed Byers and saw the dude, Chris, that I bumped into. Ed's a Medal of Honor recipient, fucking DevGru guy. I've known him at a couple of parties. I bump into him. I was like, hey, Ed. He's like, who the fuck are you? I was like, hey, man, we partied with Sully. He's like, which Sully? I'm like, I got like 3 fucking. I was like, all right, bro. Like, here, we
He's
met.
from Boston.
Yeah.
He's a Boston guy.
And he's like, oh, yeah, awesome dudes. But, I just on the plane ride coming down here, too, I was like, man. And then Chris, too, which I don't know Chris that well, but he knew some of the dudes that I know I went to school with that are in command of Ranger Battalion and other things, right? Fucking awesome Americans, man. These guys have made so many sacrifices, right? It was just humbling. I had the chance on my delayed plane. I sat on the fucking tarmac for 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that.
Watching the rain outside my window with the seatbelt sign on. I said, well, this is fucking awesome. In this shitty Airbus, by the way, that didn't even have a fucking coat hanger for my blazer. I was like, man, fuck
he was
you
looking
guys.
sharp. He came in for a fancier podcast last night, and he was in his blazer. So when I saw that, I was like, I gotta wear the lizard ass eating shirt. I gotta wear it. I gotta wear it.
It's fucking great. Caught my eye. I was like, Brad, you always have the t-shirts, you know. I was surprised you didn't have your Hush Money t-shirt on. I was like, those guys, when they make it big, they better fucking pay you.
You hear
Good
that?
point.
You hear that? They're good.
All you guys.
They are good though. They are good.
If not, we're going to build. What was that tool that Johnny's grandfather inspired?
Something about a chicken ring or cock ring or something. I don't remember what it was, but you're talking about the like brotherhood. I mean, that's the kind of thing though. It's awesome. Like when you just meet people that you kind of, you have some, affinity towards. I've got a buddy. He's like a Sully or Jeff or those type guys, and a CEO kind of guy. And Ronnie, we're at the gym. He's working out at the gym. Another guy, just a tough, amazing guy. So back surgery, good to you. Back in the gym. But he even said, we were talking, he's like, dude, we're all the same.
Yeah.
Like we're all the same. And I think, people think they're so different. We're so different. Oh, look at Johnny coming.
Johnny just came in.
Johnny be free.
Yeah.
But they think we're so different, and we're really not. Like if you can find a common denominator, like we're all the same, man. We're all the same,
Dude, one of my mentors back in the day, I won't mention his name, but he said, Josh, everyone's dirty. I was like, you grow up putting people on pedestals, right? And that's what he was getting at, right? Like, it's like, man, everyone eats, drinks, shits the same way, right? And people
spills mustard on their shirt.
Yeah, G-Hog, you sloppy bastard.
I got to tell this story. I'm not going to call him out, but we were in Nashville and. The single guys were out trying to pick people up. Honey, I was not. I was home asleep on a couch in a closet. But that someone gave me. Thank you, because we didn't know we were going to stay. Thanks to JD. But anyways, he comes in and he's like, I saw you talking to that lady. What happened? He's like, we're going to meet up tomorrow. I'm like, is it because of that mustard stain on your fucking shirt? And he didn't even think about it. I said, nah, man. I'm like, yeah, dude, you got a mustard stain. It's this long on your shirt. Now, you put on a nice shirt.
See, that's your version.
I love you, Hefe.
I was there. I was there. And I'm going to say Hefe was trying to deep throat a glizzy,
Hefe, you will be able to come down and redeem yourself. So, good dude.
But till then, what we say goes.
Oh shit, that was a funny night, man. That was a really good time. That was crazy. I can't have many of those. I don't think I'd still be alive.
I think Sully's turning 50 next year. So
damn, old guy.
Johnny is going to set the same deal up. So
that'll be fun.
I think once a year, man.
We had hit it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, once a year, the Nashville Brotherhood's going to continue. I was talking to the Cash Foundation because I'm friends with the guys that are tied to Cash Patel's foundation. Yeah. And I think they're going to go there this year in October. But, those guys are awesome. They help a bunch of vets out and try and do good for the community. I know recently they were out at the FBI HRT, which is a hostage rescue team, guys, getting a tour out there, but trying to spread awareness. So, good folk. Andrew, love you, man.
Yeah, he's doing a good job out there. Definitely trying to train people in whatever's good business, and it's a need. Unfortunately, it's a needed service today because there's a lot of frick whack jobs out doing crazy shit.
Dude, I don't know if you saw the news, but the shooting of those two Israeli people out in D.C. yesterday.
Oh yeah,
I guess former or current embassy workers. I don't know all the details. It just broke out. I woke up this morning and I was like, Jesus Christ, in D.C., man. From a SAG perspective, you saw the Luigi Mignoni shooting. Yeah. We have a lot of CEOs, execs that are nervous about that stuff and dangerous copycat type of
So what? Don't tell all your secrets, right? Yeah. Obviously, but like walk through like someone like that engaging SAG, you guys, like what that means. I know there's a different, there's kind of plethora of things you guys are doing, whether they're flying somewhere, whether there's protection around their homestead, but like.
So when you think of protection, right? What do you think of?
I mean, I think of just like I just think of like Columbia guys with AK-47 sitting outside on the front porch.
Dude, I remember the first time I landed in Bogota, actually. I got picked up by this dude I'd never met before in a fucking armored Land Cruiser, and I was like, I've arrived. Let's go, It's fucking awesome. But no, to answer that, right, like we host, as you mentioned, like whole suite of trainings, right? In the market's flooded with a lot of like running, gunning, fancy fucking Hollywood types of shit. But the bottom line is, you go to a ball game, can you take a fucking pistol in there? No. You go on an airplane, most people can't carry a pistol. Yeah. You travel to a foreign country, you can't take a weapon, right? So with personas like Felix's, a couple others, we have resources across most agencies, I would say, from Secret Service to FBI to CIA. Most of the stuff, I've handpicked some of the dudes and girls from the agency, right, that I work with. We also work with our DevGuru brothers, Sully, and other people we know within the community, Green Berets. So we typically, when we're onboarding a client, right, they come to us with their problems, and then we'll pick the right people to bring into the fold, if you will, and give them some tools. For example, like one of my recent posts, right, we took this individual's, I'm going to call them kids, husband and wife. They traveled to a certain country, so we provided them with very tailorized training, because they're not going to carry weapons on an airplane to go to this country, and bad shit can happen in that fucking country.
Right.
But people, especially youngsters, they still want to live their lives. Carrying a weapon changes your life, and you can't carry a weapon everywhere, and it's a pain in the ass. Same with the security detail. If you ever had a security detail, like, it's a large fucking presence. People know you're in a bubble, all this bullshit that goes around, and it's very fucking expensive to do correctly. Right. So we provide them with, one of the things we do is we'll provide them with, we can do all that fancy shit if they want to pay for it, right? But for some of the ancillaries and the things they love also, that, hey, if your kid's going to college, they don't want all this shit, man. Like, your daughter's 19 years old. Yeah. She just wants to go hang out with her friends and not be fucked with, So we'll provide them with very specialized training on how not to be a target, kind of counter-stalker training, some anti-drug training so you don't get roofied, your organs harvested, that kind of stuff, right? And that's really fun to see and do, because some of these people have been victims of crimes and things that are just unsavory. And at the end of the day, both Felix and I, we care about people. That's what inspired us to do it, because I'm like, well, I'm no longer doing all the cool shit I did before. That's the bottom line. Like, someday you got to hang it up and you got to build something new. So I was like, well, this is a quick way for me to do that, to serve the community and to continue to use what I'm really good at doing. Like, I was getting my job. I was like, well, I know what I can do really, really well. So I'm going to use these skills to help. And in the future, I do want to get involved with like nonprofits for like some of the human trafficking stuff that you've seen on like the Sean Ryan show. There's tons of, I know friends from like SOCOM, stuff like that are working to stop all those things. And
which is huge, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge.
We were talking the other day, right? And recently, man, like in probably the last year, I've started saying, hey, there is no cavalry coming to save us. It's us.
Absolutely.
As a younger guy, you'd look up to your bosses, this, that, and like look for leadership. If anything, the last 4 years has fucking taught us is probably you're the leaders. So take an interest in your community, take an interest in your relationships, be that fucking example. You talked about like, hey, honey, I was home while G-Hog was out there, But, Brad, that's one of the things, like, that was all true, I saw the way you conducted yourself, the way you carried yourself, and I like that, man. Like, it showed me you love your wife, you love your kids, you're a good man, and that stood out to me. I like that, you know.
Well, it's, I was out till 3 a.m. I'm not going to say I wasn't.
Yeah, and Johnny peer pressured the shit out of all of us.
Drinking. Yeah. But no, I guess the things that like what you're saying, like it's so funny because I think that it's so foreign to just, everyone trying to make a living, trying to, work, trying to do it. It's so foreign that like this stuff goes on. Like and I think why a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's so horrific. Like it's so horrific. I'll never forget. I was a freshman in college. I was a psych major. I was going to be an abnormal psych guy. We had an option to go to a missing and exploited children conference, like for 3 days. You get credit for it, all that shit. But I mean, I'm probably 18 years old, dude. I mean, I'm a kid, and I'm worried about drinking and doing whatever. But I'm sitting in that thing, and like, a couple hours in, and this guy's like, yeah, at this time, so this is like 1987 or something. It's like, yeah, there's 350,000 kids go missing each year. And I remember like kind of sitting there not paying attention. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What did you say? Like 300, if you've ever had kids, right, your biggest fear is something happens to your kid.
Was
right?
that globally or?
That was in the U.S. What this was,
yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. But I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why is this not on the news? Like, why is this not front and center? I mean, that's, now it's probably, millions. But I mean, my point in that is, why is no one talking about this? Probably made the most impact to me, like personally, of like, that's one thing. Like, you don't hurt a kid.
There's some fucking bridges you just don't cross, man. And there's no coming back from those bridges.
I always, when I first met Josh and we were talking, I always went back to that part in Lethal Weapon where they met Mr. Joshua. I kept calling him Mr. Joshua, the guy that, how loyal he was, and he was burning his hand there when and the guy was like, holy shit, do you want to do business with us? Yes or no? Do you want to do business? Yes. Mr. Joshua, go have that looked at. I love it.
Dude, loyalty is important.
Absolutely.
That's the currency, I mean, you made that post. I was like, Brad, you stole my fucking words, man. Like, that's why we have a company, right? Felix and I have one agreement, right? We're never going to do any shit that's against our country.
Yeah.
Or they'll hurt any of our brothers and sisters for any amount of money. We've seen other incidents where people go train foreign governments, foreign people that may or may not be working against us. And like you said, I immigrated here, man, and like I try not to lose sight of that. I'm very fucking grateful for all the things this country and its people, because, bro, we didn't have shit. My parents are blue collar folk; they're good people, and we moved here with 2 kids, 5 bags, and probably like $600. We moved around from aunt's house to aunt's house till my parents could get a house once they got their green card to start. We waited 13 years to fucking come here, So I didn't starve or anything like that. I'm really grateful. My parents always worked really hard and fucking provided for us. But some dude like that, fresh off the boat, got to be in the Army, got to fix helicopters, got to become an officer in the Air Force, world's best Air Force, got to go to pilot training, which not a lot of motherfuckers get to do, and washed out of pilot training, and they said, oh, we'll make you an intelligence officer, trust you with all these secrets, right? Seriously, and give you all this access and all this power, authority, all the things that go along with that, right? And I got to work at NSA, I got to work at CIA headquarters, I got to work at other places, work with some of the best teams our country has, teach foreign countries how to employ their weapon systems, work with their special operations. I'm like, and liaise on behalf of America. That still makes me fucking happy, man.
The real question is, did you get to meet a lot of chicks? This is a trick question. It's a bait.
That is.
I'm baiting.
I was like, no jockey,
the guy.
This is nothing but serious and hard, honest work done.
It's like 0070 here. See him all dressed up on there. Yeah, don't let him fool you, man. The chicks are crawling over him.
Just an overthinker here, as Brad calls me.
I love the guy, but I'm like, God, man, you're like, fucking let it go, bro. You're thinking too deep on this shit.
Yeah.
So,
Too deep. Yeah.
Too deep on it, man. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on, and I know we'll be friends for a long time. We got a lot of good times ahead of us, and I mean, definitely check out SAG. Tell everybody like where they can go to find you.
So I just started an Instagram page, right? Strategic_advisory_group. That's one. And really, most of our information's on our website, strategicadvisorygroup.us. And if not, hit Brad up. He'll fucking point you in my direction.
I'll tell you. So I don't know. I've got all kinds of surveillance on me now. I think there's bugs in my house. It's been really weird. I don't know, but
the liquor bottle I gave you. That's why I asked. Is it over here? Because I want to turn the surveillance
anything that
device
Josh gives
off.
me, I run it through this kind of bug like testing thing to see if this is real or not. That was the funniest shit ever. I was like, I don't know. These drop terms like NSA and shit like that. I'm just gonna be friends with this guy. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Let's do it.
We'll keep him in the periphery. Yeah, we love you, Josh.
Well, man, you're a smart guy, an interesting guy, and I appreciate you coming on. And I know there's some things you can't say, and I wouldn't do that to hurt anything. So, anything you want to say to anybody out there before we close out?
Well, just to Sully. One I want to call out C1P.org. Check them out. Former DevGru operators that are going around giving free training to police to combat some of the active shooter situations we're seeing. That's really important for our community. So I want to thank those guys for all that they do, and please go check out their website. And if you can contribute to them. They're a nonprofit. And otherwise, I just want to say thank you to the countless people that have been in my life. I know I wouldn't have made it this far, and without them and without you, you know who you are. I'd probably talk to you more regularly than you'd like. So thank you. And Brad, thank you for having me here. Johnny, thank you for introducing me.
Yeah, Johnny B. Freeze back there hiding.
I was like the mighty midget,
He's
6'8",
The leg. Nobody talks about the leg. Nobody puts the leg in the corner.
Johnny tripod free, So.
Well, guys, there he is. You've heard it. Joshua Alphonso, he's an amazing guy, good guy. Glad you came on. We're going to have a lot of more adventures and fun. Next time we'll do live from Nashville in the bar. We'll do the street testing with the mustard dogs with Hefe, and it'll be live. So that's all, folks. Let's go. She says, hey, ho.